My HGV Insurance is proud to sponsor Trucking TV. Let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.
Over the 5 or more years that we've been producing news and feature video about UK transport systems, we've been to many ports, and that includes what we believe to be one of the UK's most underrated ferry ports, Ramsgate in Kent. Original home of Sally Line's Ostend UK service from 1993 to 1998 and Trans-Europa Ferries Ostend service between 1998 and 2013, the port has been working to update and improve its facilities and is now beating the drum to attract a new operator to its loading ramps. Unlike nearby neighbour Dover, Ramsgate doesn't suffer ship delays due to weather and is completely unaffected by Dover's operation stack. At the 2017 multimodal event, we first heard from Ramsgate's Mike Humber.
The Port of Ramsgate is the second closest UK port to the continent and second only to Dover in terms of sea miles. We have excellent road connectivity, so that's the primary selling point, if you like, for the port. So when vehicles leave the Port of Ramsgate, there's a dedicated access road tunnel that leads straight to the dual carriageway network and the motorway, the M2 motorway straight to London. Now the important thing there is that the M2 isn't affected by Operation Stack as the M20 is, and so lorries, freight has an uninterrupted passage. It's 58 miles from the Port of Ramsgate to the M25, and that's actually the same distance as is the case from Dover to the M25. So it's excellent connectivity by road. After the end of the duty-free era, funnily enough, there was a £30 million investment finished in the form of an access tunnel, and that's really important because it means that freight can access Ramsgate and leave Ramsgate without any need to travel through the town. So there's no impact on Ramsgate, the town centre, or the beautiful marina and harbour area. That's completely separate. So there really is an uninterrupted passage. Recognise that cross-channel is the core business of Ramsgate. We've invested quite heavily in the last 18 months to 2 years. Most of that investment has been in the form of refurbishing our double-deck link span, so our berth number 3. So it's had a full refurbishment, and it's now has a lifespan of at least another 20 years in it. We've also invested in dredging. So this is sort of largely maintenance dredging, but we now can operate at our maximum depth, so we can accommodate vessels up to 180 metres in length with a draft of 6.5 metres, and that brings in quite a large number of sort of row packs and trailer ship options. What we're targeting right now is freight, is ro-ro freight. That's because we think that's the realistic option. That's something that we can achieve. Certainly, I mean, throughout the 80s and 90s, Ramsgate was a really popular duty-free port, and with Brexit and there's some uncertainty at the moment, and if duty-free comes back, I really think that there'll be a market for that business again. But right now, freight is the area that we're concentrating on.
Also on site at Ramsgate, port consultant Robert Hardy is building a persuasive business case for ferry operators.
The Port of Ramsgate is situated on the southeast corner of the UK, and at the moment has no direct ferry service to or from the continent. What we do have, though, is a huge opportunity to connect the existing networks together because of the location and the possibilities which Ramsgate brings. At the moment, you have the whole of the east coast of the UK, and including Scotland in this, is predominantly servicing Belgium and Dutch ports. The south coast is servicing French and Spanish ports. Ramsgate, because of its location, has the ability to actually service both Calais, Dunkirk, and also Ostend and Zeebrugge, and thereby tying those networks together. By providing not only a port which for destination of the UK or source from the UK, you also provide a transshipment hub that can bounce the cargo between those two terminals more cost efficiently and in a greener environment than by moving it by road on those two distances. So Ramsgate's time is now, really. These connections already exist, and with Ramsgate we've come up with a lovely saying, which is the sum of the ports are greater than the whole. Ideally, we need to find an operator that will share our view of this concept. That makes a very short telephone list. Stena, P&O, DFDS, Grimaldi, Finland. By the time you've telephoned the 5 people, you've either got a tick next to one of them or the project's on hold. So we've actually got to sit off this now and write a model as though we are starting our own ferry company. And in fact, I asked the question when I was brought in of why don't we buy the ferry? Why are we relying on somebody else to share our view? And look, it's not our top priority, but I have to write the business plan that says that's what we're doing, because that might well be what we're doing. I've started ferry companies before in the Adriatic with 2 vessels that we bought off Finlines. It's not as hard as it looks. Once you've secured the burn money, which is probably, depending on the vessel, somewhere in the region of 8 million euros, and it's burn, it's not lost, it's just burn, you're up and running, really. I know the commercial model. I'm previously director of P&O Ferries, Eurotunnel Plus, and of 2 of the largest agencies. So I know the commercial inside out. These guys know the port inside out. The port is dressed up and ready to go. We just need the confidence of either an investor on the ferry or an existing ferry operator to plug it in, and we're ready to go.
With the Port of Dover just down the coast a few miles, running at capacity or more, Ramsgate could provide a viable option for a specialist freight operator in the near future. We'll keep you up to date on this story.
Why not give us a call on 0161 410 1061 when you're arranging your HGV insurance, or visit our website at www.myhgvinsurance.co.uk or our Facebook page at HGV Insurance, and let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.